Kyoko's the only one without an alibi? Which would mean that Makuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd just like to say one thing.
I did it.
If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
Yeah, great, but if we don't vote for you and we all die here, then the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever.
Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap? We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
So weird.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
You know, I gotta say, like, they're really pushing this, which makes me suspect her less, but at the same time, the way these stories work is she's always been our mentor, so it would make sense for her to be the culprit and die here, especially because she didn't even really say, I didn't do it.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean
we could have put the body there.
He said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the
Oh, the
body
tarp,
could have
which was
avoided
wet.
being wet.
Oh, damn. Oh, no.
I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
I just love the idea that I'm gonna have to be like, I got it! I could've used the tarp, damn it! Yeah. A certain something. This is so ridiculous.
Come on, get yourself in trouble.
I got it!
I got it!
The chickens.
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
To hook up the bomb, which would need to be dry, I assume.
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of
Or-
when the murder actually took
Or to
place.
cloud the issue of when the murder
Yeah,
took place.
maybe they could have done
In
that.
other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto
Wow,
just gave
Kyoko.
us.
Alright,
That's true, though.
I know.
Okay.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like
Because
the
she
killer?
doesn't want to be
I know.
seen.
No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? Oh. But the body...
Wait, something's not right.
We get the blood and the duct tape.
And
Yeah.
what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said.
Alright, what do you have?
I have, I'm still bothered that the knife was clean.
Body before the explosion
Yeah, probably that.
and fragments.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side
That's true.
was the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
I call myself out
That
online.
side was protected from the water.
Maybe.
Since it was facing down toward the body,
It sounds
course
right.
it didn't get dirty.
But the body... The blood on the body hadn't dried yet.
By covering
So it is the
Body before explosion.
What are the other options?
The exploded body
And then
and the fragments. Which
Okay.
there's no way it's fragments.
The sprinkler got that the underside of the tank was totally spotless.
I think it's that on the last one.
Yeah.
Facing down.
Of course it didn't get dirty!
Please, 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 please. Yeah.
No, that's wrong!
Actually, one side being clean
Yeah, it
is
should be
pretty
covered in
strange
blood.
if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Yakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state,
There's still the blood
it
packets
absolutely
though from
would've
the
gotten
nurse's
blood
office
on
or
it.
whatever.
Didn't Fufune use them all?
Did he use them all?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
Then why didn't they watch both
Had,
sides?
They would have washed both
Yeah.
sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh! Yeah, true.
Oh.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant
Ooh.
as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
After the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim.
You mean someone else's blood?
Okay, I guess you're right.
Get something like that.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood
Wow,
back
thanks,
from the
Hiro.
nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh, the chicken. They got blood from right there in the garden, which must mean...
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
They're trying to summon some demon.
Chicken blood?
Yeah.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
Oh, 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 oh.
But after the murder, there were only 4.
Oh, oh, oh.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken? And then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. I should have at least eaten it.
Definitely.
Maybe they did. Where's the body?
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
Unless the blood was put on even after the sprinklers turned off?
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene.
Oh,
Maybe they covered
well
the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so.
No, it was backward.
The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
And it was backwards. But, yeah.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
So our alibi's out the window.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they
You'd have to be
go
pretty
back to the
lucky.
garden after
Yeah.
the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Makoto did it.
Oh,
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again, just like Chapter 1. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I mean, that is the best training technique, like, I'd better get this right. Or else, I don't understand. Alright.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide?
Ugh.
Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
So there's a 50% chance that everyone dies.
Yeah.
Oh,
See? Pretty good idea, right?
no, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Without a bit of blood on it.
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw
Yeah, it's gonna
it.
look even worse for
I
us.
just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do.
I don't want it anyway. So what to do?
Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto?
Huh? Me? Wow, she's setting us up the whole time.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed.
For serious.
Yeah.
The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Pretty convinced.
Yeah.
It's not 13,000, but
It's pretty up there.
close, yeah.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Oh boy. This could go
The
anywhere.
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
I gotta stop thinking of logic and start thinking of what can't be true.
We gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Thanks, bro.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Yeah, that's
So
probably...
there's no question. You took that knife of yours and
Because
killed her
didn't
with it.
the exploded body analysis, not the, what is it, go to before your other options.
Okay.
The knife we found lodged in the
Again?
dead body.
It's
Oh.
the same one we gave to
What?
Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
I might have to take someone else's thought.
If he did have
That knife that seals it. Just because I have the knife, that automatically makes well.
getting stabbed is what killed her. So there's
Yeah,
no
I bet.
Because getting stabbed is not what killed her.
You
Yeah.
took that knife of yours.
Alright, so I'm gonna hit that with this guy's dead body or with exploded... Probably exploded
No, what
analysis.
is it,
Lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave
Oh, yeah.
to Makoto.
That doesn't really help us. There's only two things.
Yeah.
I'll try the exploded analysis.
automatically make well. Getting
Okay, so I guess it's the other one. Or I have to take getting stabbed. Because the Monokuma file did say the knife was inserted from front to back, but I don't think it said what actually killed it.
It's the
Same one we gave. It really is, isn't it? If he did have that knife that seals
I'll
it.
try
Just
this.
because I have the knife, that
I
automatically
don't
make
think it's
well.
that either.
It might not be.
Oh.
Okay.
No, it's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp. and then put the bloody coat on it.
Oh, implying that the blood was
In
already
other
in.
words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the
Hero's
body,
really taking part in this.
Well, there's not many other people to take part.
the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Perfect. Twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Only 11,000% sure you did it now.
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
That still doesn't change the fact that he had the knife.
I know.
But
apparently it doesn't matter though. It's like the knife is irrelevant, which is great.
But he had the knife.
Yeah.
So he's the only one who could have done that cover-up.
Oh.
The same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just
We need to use
blow
that
up all
evidence
of a sudden
somehow.
like that?
I mean, what blows up? What do I know that blows up?
If you bothered to put that lump
Yeah.
of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle cause an atomic level spontaneous
That's
combustion.
amazing.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go
She
ahead,
admits that she's a
Makoto.
little
Yeah.
dumb.
Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
But if I get it wrong, then we really won't make headway and I'll look stupid.
So why don't you just tell us, because you apparently know.
Yeah.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part
The
of
thing
a
is,
bomb.
when this scene, I realized how big Monokuma is, because he doesn't look that big in the scene.
Yeah,
he's
he's actually
like,
kind of huge.
Yeah.
Oh, then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible...
He just keeps going back
Yeah,
and
this
forth.
is pretty intense.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine, I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Byakuya, you've been fooled before. We need to determine what ultimately kills the victim. I need to concentrate. Okay.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
No.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was
Yeah.
hit on the back of her head.
That's true.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
You said that? Yeah, the other wounds weren't fresh, so I guess I gotta hit him
Shall
with
we
the
continue
Monokuma
the
Files
debate?
pose,
The
right?
victim's fatal injury. The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Well, yeah.
I'll try that, but I'm not terribly confident.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
I shot below
body.
it. Okay. That is a pickle.
Nope. Okay.
Alright. I really... Wow, I do not know.
Then we continue the debate. The victim's fatal injury has...
Oh, has yet to be determined. Back of the head. I gotta take hero and hit her with that. That's tricky.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her.
And more than that, the victim had suffered
Not to mention, countless wounds, but also
kind
kind of... Well, they weren't fresh, so yeah. Alright, fair enough.
the victim's
fatal injury
Damn it.
to be determined, correct?
Why
God
did you
damn it.
oppose that?
I tried shooting it, I
Just
actually
shoot
held
it.
the button.
Just shoot it.
What a pain in the ass.
That's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she was
And more than that,
Ooh, it was close. Alright, here we go.
then
Shall
we
we
continue
continue the debate?
the victim's fatal injury has...
There it is.
No, that's wrong.
That's a little tricky.
Oh. Okay.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
I remember how
Okay,
this goes.
then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
I mean,
That would have.
unless they used the flat
Yeah.
side.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone really bad, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Yeah, and if you use the flat side, it wouldn't be about as wide as a pipe. You have to hit her with the handle, which makes no goddamn
Or
sense.
then the shovel might be good.
And the pickaxe was clean, too.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Yeah,
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
Wow.
I feel the same way.
Wow.
We're on the same page this time.
That's amazing.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
Yeah, Mr. Cause of Death couldn't be determined.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Mikura. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon. Monokuma file number 5. The arrows, I guess?
Mmm.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the
You wanna
head
know
with
how?
something,
Well, we'll find
and
out.
that's what killed her.
It was a really thick arrow.
It was
And
all
that
the arrows.
something was
Oh, if they were wrapped up? The duct tape!
found in the locker
Oh,
in the
damn! What an obscure way to kill somebody. They wrapped up the arrows with duct tape. The duct tape got bloody. They put the bloody duct tape away.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Jesus. I mean, it's titanium.
No, because they haven't done had the connection that we had.
I know, but, like, there's one more secret about it. Like, alright. It's gonna be the bloody duct tape or the arrows.
It was in the dojo locker.
Probably the tape, because he established it was
I
titanium.
have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick
Yep.
as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Yeah, that's it, that's it.
Master, you have no right!
Yeah, it's the too thin.
What are the other things?
It was
It's
in
the tape,
dojo
it's the
locker,
arrows
right?
themselves, and it's
Okay.
the stupid wood block key.
That
Are you sure?
Oh man.
You don't sound convinced. Kevin, the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal.
I'm pretty good.
You don't play any FPS, I
Ba-bam!
No, that's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
I have to admit, that's really clever. Like, who would ever think that arrows used in blunt force trauma was the murder weapon?
Yeah.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape.
And that was Kyoko's key that led to that locker.
The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
And then hit specifically with the duct taped part so that you could just dispose of it.
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Man, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? You even listen.
Yeah, that made no sense.
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
No.
Oh no, you absolutely
say.
have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. It must be connected to that dojo locker. They're really... Alright.
No, that can't be it.
Yeah.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
However, there apparently exists a key that lets anyone go into any room, so that could have been planted in her room.
And how does that
And how did she get into her room?
Yeah.
Because I found it in your room.
To be fair, though, oh yeah. Kyoko could not get into her room, only Byakuya could.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Oh yeah.
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she... from behind. She knew I was being attacked. And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Yeah, it's the room key. When the body was found... No way. There's no way.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Yeah.
Those words you just...
Exactly what I'm not the killer. You should understand that Byakuya. Master would never like
There's proof that you are...
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
Maybe he did it.
Yeah, if Byakuya really is the killer, then that was a long con, man, asking for a key to restrict her movements.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself.
It's not evidence, but you did tell us that she had the master key.
Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Oh no, but that is evidence. It's your testimony.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier?
If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
The mastermind's trap. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The mastermind's trap. The victim was Makuro and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap.
If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong?
What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether I have to
Alright.
expose... Wow!
This is where you can get a bad ending.
Alright.
You want the bad ending first?
Bad ending first. Run away?
No, I think it's let it go.
I've made my decision. Wow. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone.
Or wait.
Whatever.
Oh no, it's Pursue is the...
Really? The bad one?
Yeah.
Alright. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
Which leads us back to Makoto.
Yeah.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
The goofy decor?
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Whoa, what?
Time's up! Class trial's all
Oh my
over.
god.
Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time.
Wow, what a dick. He did bring that back.
Okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you.
Voting time?
Oh, that's scary.